101.3. We're broadcasting live from Etimi and Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. Lovely morning to you wherever you are. If you're in traffic in any part of Lagos, stay with us. Join our conversation. It's a promise you won't even know the effect of that traffic, because we'll keep you engaged. We'll keep you engaged. To all the students, to all the parents paying school fees, we are on a mission this morning to truly confirm whether the news that we're getting is true or not, that tuition fees in tertiary institutions are being hiked. If your school hasn't done theirs already, maybe they're on their way of doing theirs. If you can tweet, please do send us a tweet at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter with the hashtag Nigeria Info MCF. Would like to know exactly what your tuition fee is like, whether it's been hiked or not, because we're hearing that quite a number of schools are increasing their tuition fees at this time, especially at a time like this, for whatever reasons. We'll get to find out much later on. But I've got he's a lecturer. He's also a member of the Coalition of Northern Groups. Dr. Mohammed Nawaila joins me via the telephone this morning. Dr. Nawaila, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Sharif.
Very quickly, I would like for us to jump into this conversation right away. True or false, we're hearing that, because this is your constituency, we're hearing that schools are increasing tuition fees. They're increasing school fees. How true is this, particularly in the northern part of the country?
This is actually true. Some are increasing 100%, while some are increasing up to 60%. For instance, ATBU, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi, increased the tuition fee for new students by 100%. ABU increased the tuition of fresh students by 100%.
That's ABU.
IBB University in Lafay increased, I think, with at least 60%.
Wow. What do you think will be responsible for this?
Well, the point is, we tried to inquire the reason behind the increment. Some were telling us that for like ABU, it's up to 20 years that they have not increased. So you cannot find any cogent or sensible reason for this increment. But forget about that. Even if there is the reason, now is the absolute wrong time in the northern part of the country to increase tuition fees.
Why do you say so?
Banditry is ravaging the north. Boko Haram is ravaging the north. There is all type of issues currently. And like I think, was it yesterday or day before yesterday, a video leaked of a former governor telling the serving governor not to invest in infrastructure, that they should take this money and give it to politicians so that they will campaign for them during the upcoming elections.
Oh, wow.
So with this kind of atrocities happening in the area of Nigeria, in some places you can't farm. There are levies villages have to pay to bandits for them to farm in their village or stay in the village. And you are telling me with all this, now you are going to add school fees to students. Those that are willing to sacrifice and go to school to earn legitimate money, to earn a legitimate living, are those that you are harassing so that they can now not afford to pay that school, then go and join banditry. That's the message you are sending.
But how bad is the situation right now from what you have heard, from what you have seen, especially for students in that part of the country?
We know what is truly happening on the ground, and we know what the government is. If you look at it, the government at times is trying to muzzle out media houses from speaking what is real. Idam Mikia is stopped here in the northern part of the country, a program with Vision Radio and TV, Vision Radio, because they discuss this kind of issues, and now they are sued and they have been stopped. So we are even digressing from the main issue. We have students that can't afford to pay the school fees, even the existing school fees. They are barely living. They are managing to go to these schools instead of putting some money into education.
Dr. Nawaila, you took up your organization, Coalition of Northern Groups, took up this matter to the National Assembly.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, what happened is when we noticed the increment, we have representation across all the 19 northern tertiary institutions in the northern part of the country. We have representation in Abuja, the tertiary institutions, public tertiary institutions in Abuja. So when we keep receiving complaints from the students in those tertiary institutions that there is this hikes happening in their school, that we should do something, we now try to reach out to the universities and get reason. When that can't happen, the students on their own, because we have what we call the student wing, decide to organize a zonal rally and a protest against their tertiary institutions. Each state decides to organize in their own state. So we now did a press briefing 2 weeks ago, giving 3 weeks ultimatum. But after that, we said before we do that, let's write letters to our traditional emirs, to our state legislators, and the Senate President. That this is what will happen. And if this happens, this is the measure we are going to take. Now, that letter moves fast, that the Senate President called us to come and sit on a table. Let's see what is happening. After discussing for like 40 minutes, the Senate President now called up to the Committee on Education, called up the committee members of education. We now had an extensive deliberation, of which he now said, okay, we'll agree on one thing. These hikes will be reversed. And we will summon the VCs, the rectors, the provosts of the tertiary institutions, we will summon those of TED Fund, we will summon those of NCCE and all relevant bodies. Let's discuss and see why this is happening. Because now, in fact, in Nigeria, this is not what we want to be. And our reason to him is that you are saying you can't, if the problem is funding the universities, why are you creating new universities if you can't fund the existing ones? Why are you creating new polytechnics? Why are you creating new colleges of education that you have not even flagged up yet, but you are saying you have sent money to them, but you have no money to fund the other ones existing? And if it's, again, another issue of money, why are we having a governor moving with 20, 30 vehicles? Why did he need that? Reduce the cost of governance, pump that money into education. Education is more important than what you are doing now. Because in the next 20 years, those people you are sending out of school will come back to haunt your children. You want them to lead these people. Those people you send out of school will come back to haunt you. If you are not existing, they will haunt your children.
I want to talk to you some more about education, especially in the North. I want us to quickly address the issue of out-of-school children, the Almajiris and the rest of them quickly before we get back to, because I need to chip this in. You said something that really, struck a chord when you're talking about the possibility of these students not being able to pay their school fees and then be available for recruit by terrorists in that part of the country. Let's talk about the Almajiris, for instance. What do you think could be a lasting solution towards engaging and enrolling Almajiri pupils in schools, in conventional schools in the northern part? If not in conventional schools, how well do you think that they can be educated?
Well, I don't know why, but I am a fan of the Almajiri schools that Jonathan started, former President Jonathan started. We don't know what stopped it. You take the way they know how to study, then make it formally. Add some curriculum of the type of things you want to be taught to the students, but put them in such a way that they understand the concept in which they are used to learning. Then just it's like you are extending their curriculum, making it official. Jonathan started, he has built some of the schools, like the one in Azare is very close to the tertiary institutions I work. So we know that when this government comes, we don't know what happened. All those things stopped. And you'll be surprised that this is someone that should know of that kind of issues. It's like he is the one that should at least create the system. But the previous government do create this, and this government just shown it away. So, but to me, that's a very, very, very good initiative that they did. They now create schools, bring this Almajiris into this school, recruit their teachers, then bring more the Western form teachers also, co-opt them to these schools. So that these are teachers, these children know that these are their previous teachers they know, and then it's like bringing a new person to them, it's like a new person joining the family. But you don't even change the conventional way they were taught. They have they are being taught by the old teachers.
Right.
Just co-opt that system, continue it, and expand it with time.
You know what you said, your response. I mean, it highlights the negative impact of whatever it is that I personally, Dr. Nawaila, I have to be honest with you, I do not know. I cannot say exactly why that program was abandoned. I cannot say what happened.
Nobody knows what happened.
But tell us, what could be possible implication of that?
Well, if the implication is what I will want them to do, if they don't want that system,
Okay.
then this method of almajiris, this student should at least the teachers should at least be trained in such a way that after this students you are calling graduated from the almajiri schools,
Right.
they collect certificate and can be at least a future will be promised from what you are doing.
Indeed.
They should create certificates, co-opt them, train the teachers, know that if you graduate from this, there is a future lying ahead. Because when the prospect of something better coming
Right.
to you will
Right.
at least put you in check. Because when you have something you are looking forward to, you don't say to hell with everyone because you also have something at stake.
That's right.
But if you have nothing at stake, then you have the guts to say, okay, to hell with anyone. Even if I reach the next 50 years, I have nothing. I have nothing at stake. So I will be willing to destroy it for everyone.
Everybody. Indeed. Look, now, we're going to open up the phone lines, but before I get to the telephone lines, let me quickly say that if you're joining us this morning, we're talking about the increase in school fees in some tertiary institutions across the country. Maybe not all of them, but some. Because some days ago, I think last week, I got calls from students of Laspotech, messages from students of Laspotech here in Lagos lamenting the hike in their school fees. I am not sure how true that is because I still haven't been able to verify it, because I did say I was going to verify it, but I haven't been able to verify it. But if you're a student or you're a parent and you've been told that you're going to pay more, or you are paying more now, I think it's only appropriate for us to share this information together. So let's do the sharing. 0700 993 993 993 and 01 465 71904 female callers only. If you would like to tell us exactly how this has affected you or is affecting you, that is also pretty much welcome. Okay, please do that. Or you can just tweet at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter.
Morning.
Good morning to you.
Brother, my name is Pastor Sam Akujove.
You're welcome, sir.
Good morning. How's everything?
Very well. Thank you.
Well done. Yes, the discussion on hand now, I just want to say it's true. I want to confirm it's true. Hello?
Go on. We're listening to you, sir.
Yeah. Just last week, I have to pay almost about 100,000 or thereabouts to pay for my children, one of my sons. I've just entered school.
For what?
That have just entered school.
Okay, what school is that, sir?
So we felt that it's much.
What school? What school is that, sir?
In Quadry State.
In Quadry State.
I mentioned the name, yes.
Okay, was that the first school fees you pay, or it was increased?
Yes.
It was increased? Oh, we lost that. I was trying to get to the point whether he had to pay a hiked fee or it was the first time the child was entering the school. Good morning to you. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning to you now. We can't hear you, but I know that you're there. So we're going to hang up now and take another call. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Hello.
Yes, please. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes,
sir.
please. Yes, please.
Yeah, my name is Agum. I'm calling from Bagada.
You're welcome.
Do you know, beyond the increment of the school fees,
Yes, please.
there are many of the schools, government schools, especially federal schools, that even if you pass very well, your child passes very well,
Yeah.
you still have to pay up to 400,000 naira to get to secure admission. Your child have already passed.
400,000 naira.
400,000. If you want, I name the schools. You
I'm
still have
listening.
to.
I'm listening.
And then,
I'm listening to you, Mr. Aguma. I'm listening to
yeah,
you.
and even they insist on them providing books, shoes, or whatever, and at the end they will not give out these things. They collect money. You wait for 2 years, 3 years. They close. Nothing will come. So you will be forced to buy what you have already paid for again. I can name schools.
Let's have the names, please. Let's have the names, please.
Queen's College.
Okay, secondary school.
FCMC.
Okay.
Hello?
Mr. Aguma, we're listening to you. Queen's College and what school?
Yes, Federal, what is this school? FCST, the one behind Yabatek.
I don't know the name of that school.
Hello?
I'm with you, Mr. Aguma. You're saying that these schools are charging exorbitantly, right? That's what you're saying. But thank you for calling me. I appreciate it. Let's take another call and we go to Facebook. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
I've been waiting for this discussion.
Good to
I don't know what's happening in Babcock University.
Okay.
Honestly, they need to be. I think you either investigate and confirm, but really, I'm talking from personal experience.
Okay.
My nephews are there, my nieces are there. One just entered. You know, I think they gave like 7,000 people admission.
Okay.
And there's no accommodation. What they keep doing, they keep taking fees by semester. I think it was like 800 or between 800 and 1 million to enter.
Okay.
Now they are charging 900 or 8 point something for one semester. So you end up paying like double the price.
Yeah.
And the students are so afraid. Please don't call my name. If they ever report and they trace them, they suspend them. And then now the new students are sleeping on floors, sleeping with their older brothers or siblings that are there already admitted in the school. And what will they do? Within time, they will start giving, like when you take exam, they will send some home. You didn't pass well. They will expel some. They will start like reducing the actual number they need.
We need to go on this break. Let's go on this break.
This is an infomercial.
Are you a woman who owns her own business? Is your business failing or struggling? Are you having difficulty getting to the next level? Well, the Glass Ceiling Convention Business Clinic may be what you need. Our panel of business experts take a look at your business model and advise you on how to get it back on track. To qualify, just send an email to glasscon@nigeriainfo.fm. Send us your name, phone number, the nature of your business, and what its current challenges are. Selected businesses will be showcased at this year's Glass Ceiling Convention on the 6th of March.
Monday morning. I mean, that was really tough, ma'am. Apologies. We just had to take that short break. The big break is coming any moment now. Quickly, Dr. Nawaila, you're still with me, right?
Yes.
I need to ask you this. My lines are blinking, but I need to ask you this question. I don't know if we'll have. I think we better hold up. Let's go to break. We have another break coming up. When we return from this break, I want to hear from you because the Senate President has intervened. What happens if nothing happens, or how long are you willing to wait for you to see a change? But hold on to that thought. Let's go to break. And we'll be right back. Stay with us here on Nigeria Info 99.3.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
They give admission to non-agricultural course at the completion of their study. They will give them certificates that is different from what they are studying or what they studied. Mighty Love is putting that across. That's a huge allegation. Let's see who is here. Odion says this increase is a ploy to send more students out of school, a sign that our politicians are not aware of the sufferings of the masses. Odion, thank you for sharing your thought. Fanny on Twitter says, I'm a student in Bauchi. Our school fees was increased from 45,000 naira to 64,000 naira. This is for non-indigenes. For indigenes, theirs was increased from about 22,000 naira to about 32,000 naira. Fanny, thank you for sharing that information. Let me take just one more from Twitter, then we go to the telephone. Oladakbo says, how about we remove fuel subsidy and make education free and compulsory across boards for Nigerians? Oladakbo, thank you for sharing your thought this morning. All of those contributions coming in from Twitter. Let's go back to the telephone. Then Dr. Nawaila, I will come back to you after a few calls. 0700 993 993 993 and 01 465 7190. On Nigeria Info, we bring conversations to up on the radio that you should talk about. Because these things, when they start brewing like this, you keep quiet and they expand to the point that it's beyond control anymore. But let's talk about this very quickly. And please turn off your radio. Good morning to you.
Okay, thank God I'm back.
I'm glad you're back, ma'am. I'm glad.
Yeah. The increment, like I told you, almost twice the two times the old price.
Right.
And then they're taking in more students and then when they hear that you reported, it's expulsion 2 years. Do you understand?
Wow.
And then the issue of taking school fees and then sending the children back home to go and do online. Is it right, Babcock? It's not right. If they've paid for Wi-Fi, and then they've paid for feeding, and they paid for everything. Nothing is given back to them.
Ma'am, what are the parents doing about this? The parents are the ones paying the money.
Once they know, I'm calling because I'm not a direct. My sister is a parent.
Okay.
If they know that is my sister, they will explain. Oh my God! If they got guts and people are keeping quiet.
People are keeping quiet.
I'm not kidding. The sons are always home. Once you go back, take exam, you come back home, and they're taking the whole fees for the semester. That's stealing. And they're so afraid. Because once they know, they expel you. Can you imagine a third year and they say you've plotted and they expel you? You know what it means?
Yeah, I do.
It's wrong.
Yes, it is.
How can you be collecting money, fees, feeding, accommodation, everything, Wi-Fi, and then you send the student home to go and third year, you go home. This one, you go home. And then only the first year students, 7 more than they can accommodate. They are sleeping on the floor. Go and confirm that now.
These are very.
Send somebody home like last month.
These are very strong allegations. Thank you so much, ma'am. But to Babcock management, would like to hear from you. We would really love to hear from you. You can send me an email, sheriff@nigeriainfo.fm. These allegations are quite. I wouldn't call them wild, but I would love for you to respond to it as swiftly as possible, so record can be set straight. That's what I would love. Grace found me on Twitter, says, in fairness to some schools, like where my wards are, school fees have not been hiked. Grace, thank you for providing your own perspective to this conversation as well. Before I take more calls, Dr. Nawaila, I need to speak to you some more because you said something earlier about. First and foremost, I am glad that organizations such as yours are taking this head on, and you would love to see it to a reasonable conclusion. But what would that reasonable conclusion be for you?
The reasonable conclusion is reversing the hike. That's the only reasonable conclusion.
Dr. Nawaila, but you sorry to butting, but you understand that we have inflation. You understand that schools need to run optimally.
Yeah, but I'm not an economist. But I know when you have inflation, you do not stress on certain matters because there is already existing hardship. So what most government do is reduce tax to empower companies so that companies can recruit more. There are so many economics that you can employ to design policies that will help the inflation, not add more tension to an already polarized area.
Right.
That's our argument. So our only reasonable conclusion, what we are expecting from them is reverse the hike and we continue the way we are. Else, we will take, as we promised the Senate President, we have already planned on our protest.
Okay.
We'll take to the street. We'll make sure we shut down whatever is existing there. All schools shut down. All government operations shut down.
Won't you, Dr. Nawaila, won't that action hurt the same people you're trying to protect their interest if you shut down schools?
The government only listens to this kind of language. We have write letters. We have reached out. We have talked to elders so that elders will talk to the government. All the polite and decent approaches have been undertaken. If you can't achieve result from being decent and they want to force, what we notice is like the government is trying to commercialize education. And if you commercialize education, the result will happen as the way we are having private secondary school versus public secondary schools. Only few of our public secondary schools can cope with the standard of the private secondary schools. And this is just making the children that are opportuned to be at the hem of affairs, and those that are less privileged still up until the end of their life will be less privileged and stay at that strata. There is no strata movement when this kind of things happen. So if you commercialize education at tertiary institutions, what will happen is those that are that have well-to-do, that earn money legitimately or illegitimately, will now sponsor their children to have the best of education, then come over and take over the realms of government in the country. Then their children the cycle will continue, and those that are poor will remain poor, their children poor, and it will stay like that.
Did you hear anything about secondary and primary schools also hiking their fees?
Well, here what happened is most of our primary schools are free education.
Okay.
You only pay for PTA.
Okay. You only pay for PTA, right?
Yeah, that's the public school, except private schools. And private school, it depends on where if you take your children to the GRAs, you know what you expect. If you take them to a less privileged area, you know what also you expect.
That's right.
That's what we are fighting for.
That's right.
Public schools are left for the poorest of the poor now. And it's not in the north, it's everywhere. Public schools are for the poorest. Middle income earners are taking their children to less expensive but private schools. When you earn well, you take them to the first class elite private schools. And this is, now, if you look at it, there's a surge in a high exponential growth in private tertiary institutions.
That's
now,
right. That's
everywhere.
Right.
Because now people, they are right the lucrative business. You can charge a child millions upon millions per semester, and maybe if you like, teach him of less standard, pass him anyhow you want. Because those entitled to this accreditation can also be compromised.
There's a huge rot in the education sector, as you have alluded to right now. As a stakeholder in this space, Dr. Nawaila, how can I won't say this rot be cleared, but how do we even begin the revamping of the education sector in this country? I mean, you on the one hand said that school fees should not be hiked, but then education is a huge investment, and how do we get this investment in?
Well, if I can remember, I think is it 80s or 70s when one of these Latin countries, South American countries, is having all this kind of breakdown. What the intellectuals did is pump more money to education so that you create quality graduates, and that graduate will come and solve your issues. Here we are living a false life. When we are having crisis, and yet we are spending more on running of governance instead of investing in what we need to invest on. We are always saying there is inflation. We are saying there is no money, but governance is very expensive. Look at how our governors are running. Look at the salaries of our senators. Look at the salaries of the House of Representative members. Look at the aides to the representatives. Look at the aides to the senators. Why do we need all that? Those aides actually do nothing. You don't even listen to the advice the advisors give you. Then why do you need to appoint 50, 70 advisors?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that we can cut that are not important. Do what is important so that you invest in the society. And those investments will help reduce all those menace and social vices you are seeing in the governance. So what I will advise is government should pump more to education. Not by creating more schools, but by adding the quality of this education so that this student that graduates can compete with any student internationally. Then we expose these people to the world.
Right.
And then they fund something back, like how India and China are exporting knowledge outside.
That's right.
We have the numbers, and any person will tell you Nigerians are super intelligent. So why are we not harnessing our population, the advantage of that population and that intellect that God has given us? It's a lucrative business. Bangladesh are exporting normal people that will build your houses to other countries. And they are making money. There are a lot of things, Sheriff, we can't do to help this country. But I would say we should start by adding quality to the education. This quality means recruiting those that deserve to be there.
Okay.
Designing policies that are easy to be implemented and make sure they are implemented. And make sure that you follow judiciously to the core that state standard is not compromised at any level.
Right. Fantastic.
Because when you create quack graduates, our patients die, our buildings collapse, our bridges will collapse because the engineers are not competent. The doctors will not be competent. The accountants will not be competent. The auditors will not be competent. So if you let that system rotten, at the end, the society will all crumble.
Wow. Dr. Nawaila, thank you for sharing your thought this morning. But before you go, let's take a few more calls. I have some messages on Facebook. Let me just take them. Kayode says, not only in university alone, also in primary and secondary schools too. The school fees is getting too much. Please, Nigeria should speak out. And he says in Yoruba, that means we're not helping ourselves. Not the government this time around. That's Kayode who sent that in there. Abimbola also on Facebook says, not only in tertiary institutions, schools are extorting us everywhere in Nigeria. Started from kindergarten, government should help us. Abimbola saying that people should speak out as well. Abimbola, thank you. Let's take a few calls. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Shade, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, our family.
Very well, ma.
This is Madam Issy.
You're welcome, ma.
You see what that woman is saying, and that's a missionary school. It's sheer wickedness to the highest order. You take money from parents, and you don't give the children what they are supposed to do. You are not instilling fear into the children. And you say you're a missionary university. I want to tell you a little. Just give me maybe 10 seconds.
Okay.
The solution, because you're saying what's the solution? The Ministry of Education going to inspect this university from time to time? That's the question. And if they go, I'm sure they package something for them and they look the other way. While I was in my HSC in 1976 or 78, Obasanjo came from the Donbara Sogbo Hill in Aba to come and inspect the school they opened. All those other schools dead. Who does that now? Nobody. And you want education to be prioritized.
Madam Ifi, thank you so much for calling me. I appreciate it. Dr. Nawaila Bello Mohammed, thank you so much. We have to go now, sir. But please keep us in the loop as to the developments in that space. Apparently, it's a big issue around the country. I can't just show you the messages that I'm getting here on social media. But thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
My pleasure, always.
Thank you. Dr. Mohammed Nawaila Bello is a lecturer and also a member of the Coalition of Northern Groups. speaking to us there. I think that we need to go. I don't want to take any calls that we won't finish at this time, but let me squeeze in a message on a comment on Facebook. My brother just got admission into Federal University of Oye-Ekiti. He has to pay 50,000 naira acceptance fee and clearance fee alone. School fees is still there. That's too bad. They don't even want to pity the masses. A federal university for that matter. That's Olubenga Oyeni who sent that in this morning. I think I should go to WhatsApp. I haven't been to WhatsApp on this conversation. I'm sorry. I can't take any more calls. I wish I could, but I can't. My WhatsApp is hanging. Let's just head out. Let's head out. Thank you all for being a part of this conversation. Not the morning crush party, but I'm not going anywhere yet. Table Talk is next on the show today. So stay with us on Nigeria Info 99.3. Good morning to you.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow